Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board meeting of January the 26th. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Sacramento Council Chambers. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Darren Soon. Here. Daryl Wu. Present. Jay Chenier. Here. Linda Budge. Phil Cerna.
Here.
Jeff Slowey.
Here.
Rick Jennings.
Here.
Don Natoli. Here. Susan Peters.
Here.
Angelique Ashby. Sue Frost.
Present.
Eric Guerra.
Here.
Lori Hewer. Here. Alan Warren. This meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority is being videotaped in its entirety and will be cablecast without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the Government Affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable systems, and will be webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting is being shown live and will be repeated at 2 p.m. on Saturday, January 28th on Channel 14. The meeting is closed captioned. A DVD copy will be available for checkout from any library branch no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. A public copy of the full agenda, including reports, is available for viewing at the back table and is available on the library website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should complete a speaker identification form located at the back table and give it to the clerk. Please speak into the microphone when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. In consideration of others, please silence your cell phone at this time.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Sue Frost, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move to item number 2, public comment on matters not on the agenda. We have 2 speakers who would like to speak. Anita, is it Scurry?
Yes.
Who is with the Friends of the Library. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm short. I think I'll come over here if this one's on. Is this on? My name is Anita Scurry. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the new president of the Friends of the Sacramento Public Library. I have big shoes to fill after Jeff Rubin's tenure. I want to say how happy I am to be here. I'm wearing my favorite library t-shirt. I want to let you know that we are participating again in the big day of giving. It's May 4th, and we hope you will all be a friend and help us out with that. We fund the library's new Book First program, which this year is going to distribute 9,100 books to first graders in low-income schools. In fact, I'm going on one of those visits tomorrow to Thomas Edison Language Institute. It's really rewarding. I would encourage you, if you can find a way to go, I think you find out how much those children appreciate having a book of their own that they can take and keep at home. And so we're hoping to encourage you to contribute again. I also, as an individual, support the library's wonderful efforts to have a youth detention library because it's so important for incarcerated youth or children who can't get to the library to be able to get there. My branch is Arden Dimmock, which has a beautiful refresh thank you to the Sacramento Public Library. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for coming to speak to us today. Our next speaker will be Mr. Cone. I think it's either Dar or Dave. Okay, Dar, come on up, please. Right there, please.
Working?
Yes, they are.
Okay. My name is Dar Cohen. I wanted to comment on some of the things that I see going on within SPL. I actually work for SPL. I'm also a member of the public. I wanted to comment on iniquity that happens within SPL, the organization that is Sacramento Public Library. In my experience, in my observation, some are treated, some get special privileges, some get opportunities, while others don't. It seems sometimes like it's more of a private club, and if you're a member of the club, you get privileges, and if you're not a member of the club, you don't. I believe this is not appropriate. I believe that it should be about the work. I believe that cost-benefit analysis in the real world should apply. I believe that effectiveness, if someone demonstrates effectiveness, they should get rewarded. I believe that money and resources should flow to those who can demonstrate effectiveness at things that are worthwhile to the library, that make a contribution, that engage the public. I hope nobody truly disagrees with me if they that money and time should flow to those people who can demonstrate effectiveness. The second thing I wanted to say was that okay, so SPL has stated organizational values, and what I see happening is there's no real way of making sure those values get applied. We have these values, they're ideals, and they sound great, but when it comes right down to it, it's like, well, yeah, that's just, that's just that thing we have, the stated organizational values. And I find that to be a huge problem. When there's a problem that seems to conflict with the stated organizational values, there's no way of addressing it. It always comes down to, oh, we can get away with this because the contract says we can get away with it. There's no redress that says we're going to do this differently because of the organizational values are being violated. So those are my comments.
Mr. Cone, I appreciate your comments and appreciate you coming down, and hopefully in your notes, you've had the opportunity to write a letter to us and have those comments so that we can see them in writing and we can get someone to respond to them.
Okay, I can do that.
That'd be great if you could do that, because I'd like to address them. Some of them sound very serious, and I think we would all like to see them in writing, make sure we understand them, and see if there's opportunity to address.
How do I address that? Just to the
library board. You can send it to our director, Rivka.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming down. Okay, next item, please.
Presentations, Sacramento Public Library Foundation Annual Report, December 2016 to January 2017. I think I have that wrong, right, April?
Well, we'll go over the calendar year when we get up there. It's okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, that's what it says.
Hi, thanks for having this. I'm Kristen Otto. I'm the secretary for the foundation board, and I'm here in place of Vince Jacobs, who's in New York, which I wish I was with him, but he's in New York, so I'm here. And basically, we're just here today and have given you our annual report and our 990s. We have become a very strong financial institution, and as much as we appreciate everything the library did for us, we're no longer dependent upon them for space. We are now out and operating, and our emphasis is going to remain on children's literacy. So we are going to go forward as strong as we can. We're also developing an endowment program to make the foundation consistent in its ability to continue to supply the library with funds. And April will be going over that program with you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm April. I was trying to get that up to just show. Our calendar year goes from July 1 to June 30th, so it mirrors your calendar year. And this is a report on that last year. This is our year-end annual report, which we sent in the package. We've also given you the 990s and the financials. We've had 4 years of an unqualified audit. And we do get an independent audit despite the fact that we don't need to by law, but we do that because we're entirely funded by donations, and it's important to let donors know that money's being directed in the right places. And that's what auditors do, is they make sure money gets directed in the right places. So first, I want to invite you, I'm going to fundraise now. I want to invite you to, which is 90% of my job, Authors on the Move. It's coming up on March 4th. Hector Tobar is our keynote speaker this year. He wrote Deep Down Dark, which is the story about the 33 Chilean miners who got stuck underground for 69 days. You remember it happened in 2010? So he'll be speaking. He's the keynote, and it's pretty exciting. Univision's coming on board as a sponsor. We like that, and we like that this is a vertical in the community that we've been reaching into, and so this really helps us do that. So you can come. We have tickets. We probably have seats if you'd like to be our guest. Just let us know. Our phone number's on the back. It's a fun time. Now, about the Children's Literacy Endowment, I have given you all a package that is what we are presenting right now in our silent phase of our Children's Literacy Endowment, which we're looking to reach $2 million. We've raised in cash about $165,000, and in pledges another $60,000. In your endowment package is a letter, inviting you to participate, a little update on where the campaign is at, the things that we've done, the things that just the effort. Our case study is on the other side, and our policy governing our literacy endowment, and actually all the endowments we hold for the library, is in that package. We sure hope that this interests you and that you'll think about it, and maybe, maybe put yourself on that wheel. There's a little, I call it the Wheel of Fortune. It's a giving circle, and we're looking to fill that wheel up. A request we have is we really like Christy Ham's impact report on children's literacy, and we see, Rivka, that you made an amendment to that in the director's report. Just for the record, we gave $137,500 in 2016 and $125,000 in 2015. What we'd like to see is that impact report get updated with the foundation and our over $600,000 of support, and we'd like to put that in this package, because you guys are doing great work for children, and we think that donors will look at that and want to secure some of those programs as well inside of the endowment. So it would really benefit the library, and the Children's Literacy Endowment will have all kinds of pieces to it, but donors will be allowed to restrict areas where they'd like to see that money go. So that might be something that we could get a hold of. That'd be great. And then we hope a few of you will consider investing in this endowment. We know that you've been supporters of the foundation and the work that we've done before. And if you would like to do that, then please contact the office or find a way to let us know. But we really appreciate everything you're doing, and we wanted to give you a little piece of what we do.
Well, we deeply appreciate everything you're doing. We'll make sure that those numbers get corrected in our report, because in 2017, I know you're going to exceed everything you've done.
I think we are.
2015 and 2016.
One thing, we're in fast pitch this year. I don't know if we'll make it to the top 10, but we might. And then that's on March 8th at Golden One Arena. But it is educational nonprofits out there learning how to tell their story, and that might be of interest for all of you. It's at the Golden One Arena on Wednesday, March 8th. Okay?
So much for everything you do. We're looking forward to the fundraiser on March the 4th.
All right, great.
See you then. All right. Okay, next item, please.
Item 4.0, Director's Report.
Thank you. I'll draw the board's attention to my written report, but I have a few things to add. First, we'd like to welcome our new members, Councilmember Hewer from Galt, Councilmember Guerra from the City of Sacramento, and Supervisor Sue Frost. Thank you for joining the Authority Board, and we look forward to working with you and orienting you and indoctrinating you about how great our library is. So
That's right. Let's give our new members a round of applause.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that we have a couple of minor corrections in our statistics. I was going through them and noticed that one database had gone from like 900 uses to 99,000, and I thought that was a little too remarkable even for us. So we're working on correcting those numbers for you. And then I want to bring up something that is not quite so much fun, and that is that on Monday, one of our dedicated volunteers at the Arden Dimmick Library was, I guess the word is assaulted by a gentleman who approached her as she was taking some things out of her car and knocked her to the ground, and she sustained some injuries. We, of course, called the police and the fire, and we've been working with Supervisor Peters' office to try to get some response, and we're happy to say that today we got a search warrant. We were delivered a search warrant and handed over information to the sheriff's office, and we believe an arrest will be made, but we're very concerned on behalf of the person who's in great spirits. I talked to her this afternoon, and she's very tough, I'll say that. And I don't know if the supervisor has additional information to add, but we were very disturbed by the incident. And we have lots of incidents in our libraries, as you know, but very few at this particular library, so.
Please.
I guess I just want to thank Rivka for calling me right away, and take exception to you calling him a gentleman. And then thank the fire department and the sheriff's department, who were right on it and have apparently apprehended the person. And the security that the library has had some films, and Rivka's been on it trying to and recognize the person who lives in the vicinity,
Okay.
like the sidewalk out in front of the library.
And I really want to
Thank
call
you.
out again Karen Leland, our security coordinator, who has been, she is every day effective and has been just fabulous in this.
Yeah,
And the
she has. Her
staff at
report
Arden
was very
Dimmick have been
informative.
Great, and Kathy Middleton and Maddie went out and talked to the staff right after the incident, but it's just disturbing. We deal with more things than we want to deal with on a daily basis in our libraries, but when it happens in a place you don't expect it to happen, it's a little more jarring in a way.
Right, and as board members, I think I speak on behalf of all of us. If there's anything we can do as far as coming out and speaking to the staff and supporting your conversations that you've had already, or to the person that was assaulted, we'd be more than happy to do anything that we can do to assist.
Thank you, that's much appreciated. Thank you. And I'll end my report with that. If you have any questions about any of the narrative, I'm happy to answer them.
Any reports from the board? Any questions from the board?
Thank you.
All right, seeing none, we'll move to the information items.
Information, item 5.0, monthly financial report, October 2016. Item 6.0, monthly treasurer's report, October 2016. Item 7.0, monthly financial report, November 2016. Item 8.0, monthly treasurer's report, November 2016. Item 9.0, Franklin Community Library flood update. Item 10.0, 2015 to 2018 strategic plan progress report.
Okay, are there any questions on the information items from board members? Seeing none, hearing none, let's move to the consent calendar.
Consent, item 11.0, action summary, December 7th, 2016. 12.0, gifts and donations report, October 1st to December 31st, 2016. 13.0, travel policy and procedures. 14.0, library fines amnesty proposal. 15.0, contract approval, SAC Val janitorial supply. 16.0, purchase cooperative agreement, computer replacement, CWDG.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion on the consent calendar.
I'd like to pull item 14 for discussion, please.
Item 14 is pulled.
I would move the rest of the items, sir.
Motion's been made, seconded by Member Budge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right, let's the record show we are unanimous. And item 13, is it? 14, I'm sorry. Item 14. Okay.
The staff, okay, so staff's
Would
not
you like a
gonna-
staff report on that?
No, I don't need it, but that's just the procedure I'm used to, so.
Okay, we can do that.
It's fine. And it's possible, Rivka, that I missed something because I usually have my alternate attending this meeting. But this is about the library fines amnesty proposal, and those of us who've been on the board for a while remember, and I don't remember if you were here in 2012 or not, we had quite a long discussion about waiving fines and all the ways we would deal with it. It was a subject of a grand jury investigation, lots of things like that. And so I'm kind of surprised to find that in 2012, we supposedly upgraded our software, and this software, if I read this correctly, does not allow us to keep track of the written-off debt before renewing or issuing a new card. And so it says it's not possible in this new, well, it's not new any longer, but the Sierra software. So I mean, do we need to change software, or has some other work been done in between? It's quite a bit of money.
It is. This is a long, actually, the fines and fee, there were fines and fees issues before I got here. That was 2008. I came in 2009. We worked on a new fine and fee a debt collection policy. The board approved that in 2011. And then in 2012, we upgraded the software. And we discovered that there was a disconnect between the upgraded software and the ability to purge those records the way that we had thought we were able to do it. And the software doesn't work. And we've been promised now, it's 2017, almost 4.5 years later, we're at our wits' end. The company is once again promising, and Jared can fill us in with additional information, but once again promising to fix it, but we don't really think that fix is going to come, and we know that there is a certain amount of debt that is just unrecoverable, and that's why we also want to bring people's attention to the fact that they're missing out on using the library. So we want to sort of bring people back and give some people the opportunity to start fresh. That's a part of our strategy. And the fact is, we're probably not going to recover those funds anyway, because if they're 5 years old, they're gone.
I understand that. Every jurisdiction has a certain amount of money they write off as uncollectible, but I guess my question goes back to the original RFP. Was it part of the RFP that they would have this as part of their software?
Well, this software has been in place, a version of this software has been in place since, I believe, 1999, and various upgrades have occurred since 1999 where it worked before. It just hasn't worked with the new one. Jared, do you want to add some?
No, I don't, honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think I need to try and understand the software.
It's very frustrating. I will just say, I'm very I have stood up and jumped up and down in vendor meetings with the president, and
Well, is it enough to cancel their contract and get a new software
well,
on the street?
new software is going to be very expensive, but I'm at the point where
Well, but it might not be expensive if they're liable, that they told us that they, were going to provide this ability to the library. I mean, maybe they owe us money.
Well, that would be nice. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. I think it's one of those, I don't know, Denise may have something to add, but it's one of those things where, it was working. We thought we were improving our customers' ability to access library materials, and I think that part of the upgrade worked. This part of the upgrade, because we're a public library and it's software that's often used in academic library settings, and the fine and fee piece of it is not as important, they don't think it's a priority.
So is it your plan to replace the software or not?
Well, I told Jared today, that's my dream, but I really think that is more expensive than we probably want to go into.
Well, I'm trying to find in the staff report what it said the total write-off was. Did it say? It was a couple $1 million, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Well, that would pay
if you look in the report,
that would pay for some software.
Well, keep in mind that there's a difference between fines and fees. Overdue fines are That's the money that we can actually collect. Most of that $3+ million is actually materials. That's books that have not been returned, and they're deemed lost. So it's not money, it's materials.
That you have to purchase to replace.
That we have to purchase replacements for, yes.
So as part of this proposal, what we were looking at doing is trying to recover those materials that have gone in. There are barriers sometimes to people returning materials because they're afraid to return, so we're trying to remove those barriers. In reference to the problem with the library catalog, that is something that we have been working on nonstop with the vendor, and we will have another report in Q2 2017, but this has been an ongoing issue. And one of the challenges is because we are a very large system, and we're larger than most, so finding an integrated library system that will scale to the volume that we have is very difficult. So that has been a major constraint for us. There are very few integrated library system players out there today, and most are in fact designed for an academic setting. So to actually find one that works in a public library system that will also scale to our needs has been quite difficult. And so in part, that's been part of the reason why we've continued with Innovative. But, however, we have been very vocal, and we have been pushing them, and, we have not given up at all, and just stressing how important this problem is. And we're waiting for Q2 2017 to see if, in fact, they are going to deliver what they promised.
Threaten them with legal action?
To date, I do not believe so.
I mean, is our counsel here? Do we have any actionable item? Thank you.
We'd have to look at the contract. We'll share that with Mike. I doubt honestly that there's much recourse. I have been frustrated by this for more than 4 years because we've been promised over and over again that they will take care of the issue, but because we're the only library that seems to be complaining about it, it's not deemed important enough for them to actually address. So if we could get our other fellow libraries that are of a certain size. I talked with the director of Multnomah County Library in Portland, and they're going out, actually, they're looking at other systems, and they plan to migrate away from this company because they're frustrated for other reasons. So but as Jared said, it's very hard. The library market is a very small space, and we're not, this isn't software that you can just go and purchase off the shelf like an SAP system or an enterprise financial system. It's very unique to libraries because it's inventory control, it's patron management that is governed by certain state laws, and it's the financial piece, and as well as the acquisitions piece. We run everything we purchase as part of the system. So it's very complex, but because it's for a library, there's not a lot of development money that goes into it. So we're a little bit up against the wall here.
Can a secondary system be put in place that handles only fines and fees? I mean, is there, I don't know, is there an add-on that maybe another company makes?
I think so.
There's definitely things that we have looked at, but part of it requires additional steps for staff and additional barriers as well. Part of the problem that we have, and let's go a little technical here, is most of these integrated library systems don't use standard relational databases, so we're using kind of one-off things, so it's hard to get the two to talk to each other, and then also to reconcile the information in real time. So that's been a real challenge for us, and I can kind of go in a little more detail with this, but that's been part of it. Now, could we look at some other options? Yes, but those that we have looked at in the past have required issues where we don't have data in real time, or we don't have the two systems talking to each other in real time, which can cause delays and problems as well.
Well, this sounds very similar to the conversation we had 5 or 6 years ago about no one knows how to do this, basically. So personally, I won't be able to vote for it. I'll just leave it at that, and you can move on. I think you really should be looking into it, some way to replace the software.
From the legal standpoint, did you have a point you wanted to make?
No, Chair. I was going to mention that if staff referred the matter to me for an evaluation of the legal options, I'd be happy to do so, but they've currently been pursuing other avenues to try to resolve this issue.
Member Natoli.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question I have. So what's the cost of the annual support for the system that they currently underwrite for us?
At upwards of $250,000. Yeah, for the whole thing.
Yeah.
About $250,000.
Yeah, it might be shifted, but that's
I'm
also.
ballparking,
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm only the
also-
director.
That's
Roughly
also with
fine.
additional services that are bundled into that.
Okay, well, and I think to the point that Susan asked about a moment ago, if, maybe it's not part of the, if it's supposed to be part of the package, it isn't, but if it's causing us, potentially the loss, again, maybe actually ask if they, and maybe we have, develop some, software that would be, unique to us, but it might be a one-time cost, but if you look at what we're writing off, again, that's not all collected, but certainly potentially collectible. But even a portion of that could, I don't know what they would charge. If they end a contract for everything they do, it's about $250,000 ballpark. And again, this is a small piece of it, but a very important piece. So again, maybe you already asked that question, every way it can be asked. It just seems to me, though, they want to continue to do business with us, and maybe we don't have any options, as you've pointed out, Rivka. And so, maybe that threat's hollow, too, that we'll have somebody else do it for us. But I do think that, your work obviously has been important on this, but I think it's gotten the attention of the board. I appreciate, Susan raising the issue, and it may be that, after having heard this today, and if you want to, share it with them, whether they care about that or not, that, there are board members here that are concerned that, and there's some rattling about, our business relationship here, which is hurting our ability, at least in this area. And again, it's patron service is real time, and some of those things, like I say, you don't want delays. That could be just as, bad on the customer service end of it. But I think, this is important. So maybe to have the conversation about what it would take, and maybe you already had that conversation. So I don't know. I pose that. So let me ask the question, have you had that conversation about what it might take for them to get this integrated to what they're currently providing us and what the cost might be? I know we've, obviously
Since
said.
2012.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I found an email that I sent in 2012. What I'm happy about today is this conversation allows us to write a letter and me sign it and say, I work for 15 elected officials. They are not happy. And their strong suggestion is that we look for an alternative to your product.
Right, or fix it.
That might get their attention.
I'm fine with that, and if you need a motion to direct the correspondence, I'd be prepared to make that at some point, so thanks.
Member Cerna.
Thank you. Well, I'm actually very happy to hear you put it that way, Rivka, because I too will be voting no, so that can be part of the narrative, that you have more than one member of this authority that feels so strongly about it that they're going to vote no.
Would it help us all if we just took this item off consent and moved it forward 30 days for a report back about conversations you had with them and what alternative softwares there might be? Would that give you enough time, 30 days?
30 days is enough time. I will say I'm really disappointed because we wanted to give amnesty as a Valentine to the public, but it's an opportunity to create another marketing tool if we can get you to agree to this. We have several strategies that we have to pursue. We absolutely get that we need to deal with the problem, which is the software, but we also need to write off the bad debt. And to do so, we really wanted amnesty for that.
I get that, but several years ago when this came up under discussion and with the grand jury report, it was 5 million, 7 million? Does anyone remember?
It was large.
It was large. So here we are again, and for an organization that struggles for money, it just keeps coming up. So I think we need to do something about it.
But I really am glad we're having the conversation, but I think there's a difference between collecting what you know you can collect, and I believe in Jared's report it says something like, there's a very finite amount of time, and that's the business standard for debt collection. It isn't just for libraries, and I think it's under 18 months or something. So we're now talking about records that we've been unable to eliminate that in any other situation, the business would have been able to eliminate them. I'm not trying to gloss over the amount of money. We want we want to get our materials back. We do get more than 98% of our materials back. It's the 2% that we have to spend so much energy on, and that's unfortunate.
Member Ashby.
Okay, see if I can help maybe wrap it up. First of all, it'll be just as great of a gift for summer reading, so don't worry. I think it'll be just fine. We can have it sorted out by summertime for you to be able to do amnesty. And if, whatever we call each other on this board, Member Peters, if that was a motion to move
Nice
this
thing to
forward
say.
30 days, then I'm happy to second that motion. All right, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Could I ask a question?
Member
about the mo-
Natoli.
It's just a question about the motion, though, but we're talking about the software, and, amnesty certainly is connected to our inability to have, collected on some of this, or to encourage folks to bring materials back, because we would grant them, some relief from, fines that are owed. I guess I'm curious about what will change on that front in 30 days. I mean, we can rattle the saber and tell them we're looking for somebody else, which obviously we're serious about that. I guess if you're trying to get your materials back that belong to the public library, that belong to all of us, I don't know what's going to change. You might have a report that says, well, they can do something, they're going to do something, and maybe on a going forward basis they can pick up some of this. But what I heard you say, and when I look at the standard here about the 2 years and the number and the amounts and so forth, that somebody's gone well past the collection dates anyway, and maybe that's another subset, although I think it was pretty clearly laid out. And so I guess, as it relates to the motion, I don't have a problem continuing it, but I do question what we will accomplish as it relates to the amnesty, and whether it's summer reading program or Valentine's Day or Christmas or any other part of the year, is that I think the importance is to try to get the materials back so they can be put back into circulation and so forth. And so I guess I'd be supportive of granting that, not because, it's something we take delight in, but I don't see the realities of 30 days and even harsh discussions with the vendor about what we might do. That doesn't change what's already happened, I guess. So that's the point I make. So I'm not so sure I'd want to continue the amnesty part unless there's a better reason why.
Well, and the truth is, the reason we wanted amnesty is we've looked at what other libraries have done, and they seem to have some luck getting the stuff back. And when it comes down to it, that's our primary goal here, is to get our stuff back.
Right. So I'm hearing a motion. Member Budge.
So following that theme then, doesn't it carry equal weight if we, independent of approving or not approving the amnesty program, if we give direction to the director to write this letter, and that gives us the opportunity to go ahead and approve the program with the hope of getting the materials back in again. But it allows her to say to this vendor that the board collectively directed her to write this letter with a nice thread in it.
That would be a condition for this board member to be able to affirmatively support the motion, what it's worth.
Okay, so I think I hear a friendly amendment on the table, and I'm just trying to make sure that someone can paraphrase it for me.
That letter.
Yeah, so I would offer the friendly amendment then, that we approve this program, but provide hostile direction to the director to write them a very nasty letter.
Yay!
Now you can show them the tape of this meeting, too.
Now, just so I understand clearly, is it approve a program in its entirety, or just the amnesty part of the program?
Amnesty.
The amnesty. So
Well,
that's a friendly amendment that you have to accept.
Someone else should make the motion.
In question on that, because
Make sure we're not leaving something out.
again, to Don's point, the writing off of the money isn't going to change between now and 30 days from now. So, to me, I would offer a third alternative, make the original motion, however, direct the staff, Rivka, to follow up and write a letter to the vendor, plus have a phone call, because, letters, you're going to mail it, et cetera. But, get on it and get back to us, because if this has been going on since 2012, personally, I don't see a big change coming in 30 days, but then let's figure out what the options are, whether it's, send the attorney, see if there's any direction there, or, what's the cost of a new system or something. But I would make the original motion so that we can do all of it, but have Rivka follow up on the software piece.
You're
Yes.
including, accepting? Is that,
I'm going to withdraw my support of the motion, so someone else needs to make the motion.
I just did.
Okay.
so there's a second for Jeff's motion?
So the original plus the letter.
Okay.
Investigation
We're all-
by council.
And the phone call, yep.
Right,
Well,
phone call,
we're just
refer to
adding
the
things in, but
attorney,
we're all
drive down
basically
there,
saying
pound
the
on the
same
door,
thing.
whatever.
Yes, sir.
Can we also have council look at the contract and see if there's any, I'd like to get a report back to see
I would think that would be,
Yes.
what kind of standing.
Part of the third
Yes.
friendly amendment.
I got to give Mike some work. He sits over there doing nothing all the time.
All right, Mike.
Yes. And it's
Okay.
another thing that can go into the letter.
We done? We good? So we need to vote on that motion, see if it passes, then we'll go back. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Very good. We did that. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good
Chair
direction.
Jennings, could you have someone restate the motion for the record?
That is a joke, right? No.
Linda, it's the original motion, okay? But we're also directing Rivka to follow up with the vendor verbally in writing and discuss it with the attorney
Right.
to see if there's any legal loopholes that he can find to pursue further and report back as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Slowey.
Welcome,
Thank
Linda.
you very much. Okay, let's move to the next item, please. Item 17?
Item 17.0, election of board chair and vice chair 2017.
Okay.
Rick, just a clarification, obviously your chair, county is vice chair, right? And is that Phil or is it Don or who is it? It's
Don.
Okay, so Don's way down there, kind of hiding, okay. So I just wanted to
Right.
clarify who was,
Councilmember Ashby.
Yeah, thank you. So I haven't had a chance to talk to even my colleagues on the council about this, but I do see, thank you for providing the rotation cycle. I do see that in 2017, the rotation is for it to come back to the City of Sacramento.
No, I'm sorry, the rotation for 2017 is for it to be one of the county cities, and we made a typo there. Where it says Galt, Isleton, it's been crossed out, it says county city. That means Galt, Isleton, Rancho Cordova, Citrus Heights.
any city,
Who am I missing?
not just
Elk
the big
Grove.
one.
Any of the cities that aren't Sacramento.
So here's my concern, and really whatever the board would like to do, it's not, but generally speaking, whoever is vice chair would be chair the following year. The year 2018 is very important for this board for funding from the City of Sacramento, because that is the year that we need to renew Measure U, which has funding for the library in it, and someone on this council will have to champion it. Last year, Rick took this role so that he could champion Measure X. I took chair a couple years ago so that I could champion Measure B, so that we could be in a position of standing to say that we were chair of the library authority at the time that we were asking the residents of the City of Sacramento to increase some type of tax on themselves to support this board. That will again be the case in 18. And it has also been asked of this board, the members from the city, to consider readdressing the maintenance of effort payment that the City of Sacramento makes pursuant to X and B, both having passed. Lucky for Ms. Rivka, 3 members of this body sit on the Budget and Audit Committee for the City of Sacramento, where those preliminary discussions are actually already taking away. Those 3 members are Councilmember Schneer, Councilmember Jennings, and Vice Mayor Jennings, and myself. So it's up to the board, and I'm happy to, I'm not going to make a motion, but I want to put out there the idea that you may want to consider, given what's going to happen in 2018, selecting a member from the City of Sacramento that would then be in a position to champion this library as we address Measure U. But again, I'll stand down for whoever wants to make whatever nomination.
Member Slowey.
I'll make a motion to move on the total. Don Natoli over to chair. Next chair. Oh, at the end.
Thank you. That motion's been made and seconded. We'll vote on that now. Rivka? Right? Before we go to the vice chair?
Yes.
Okay. So that motion's been made and seconded. Member Natoli did a great job as vice chair last year. Happy to see him as the nominee for this year. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? We are unanimous. Congratulations, Member Natoli. Okay. Member Slowey again.
Well, I'll defer to the current chair
Member
first.
Natoli.
Yeah, I was just going to ask to the point made by Member Ashby that I guess to hear from from our other member cities here about what they think about that, because obviously they're the ones that are in line for the rotation, and not to put them on the spot, but if you look at the rotation, I appreciate the point, and certainly our city representatives have been, not only strong leaders on this board, but obviously when it's come to leading, the efforts for making sure that people understand the importance in the city of Sacramento and how it contributes to the overall library system. But I do want to hear from folks. I think it's important. The rotations, again, are not set in stone, but they're, I think, representative of giving people kind of that opportunity and recognizing that there may be other factors that would influence that. So I guess that was just the point I was going to make, was to hear from colleagues about your thoughts, because obviously that rotation then would be interrupted. So for the city representatives, I think it's important maybe to get your thoughts on.
Speaking of that, Member Suen.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Jennings, and thank you, Member Ashby, for your comments. Having served on the Budget Committee of this authority for the last couple of years, I have been extremely concerned about the City of Sacramento's contributions for their share of the administrative funding for this. So I don't know what that would do. I mean, obviously it will change the rotation, but I think if being chair will help in securing funding from the City of Sacramento, I would absolutely support that.
Member Ashby.
So let me just first say that there are a lot of great people on this board, and in terms of rotations, and I know these things can get political fast, and I in no way intend to interfere with that. So if there was somebody that there was already a motion in the works, that's fine. I know nothing about that. But I sat on that same board that you sat on, that Budget and Audit Committee with Mr. Slowey for 3 years, and that's why I agreed to be chair and champion Measure B. Having the chair be from the city gives you, it's really the reverse of what you just said. It's a person who, like for Rick, who has to be responsible for the library discussion when we're at the city dais. So when you know how this, all of you know how this works. We all have a bazillion priorities when it comes to budget, public safety and parks and all the things, but it gives you a for sure champion because somebody is the chair of that committee that then knows, is privy to the budget committee meetings, is spending extra time with the library staff, and usually just has a little bit more information. Again, it's not that Measure U would fail because we didn't have a city person on the board, but I worry about whether or not the library will have a big enough voice to have a big enough piece of Measure U to come back and address some of these maintenance of effort issues, as well as the maintenance of effort issues that are happening prior to Measure U's renewal. So that's the sticky piece, and it's really up to the board, but I think there is some value in looking at it, or I wouldn't have upset the apple cart.
Member Slowey.
Yeah, thank you. And Councilwoman Ashby, thanks for bringing it up. I mean, I do think we all lose if Sacramento doesn't come up with renewal or even review their maintenance of effort. So to me, it makes sense. And, as somebody who's chaired this, we all chair different boards and commissions, rotation, whatever. I just think it's the right thing to do for this whole body. So I would actually make a motion that we put Mr. Chenier as vice chair.
He looks thrilled. We think that's brilliant. Eric already seconded.
There's a motion on the floor and a second. I want to give other...
Argue for one of the small city representatives, Jay, right now is your time, so.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I told Jay can always start arguing for one of the small city representatives right now if he wants to.
You want to waive the citrus?
Okay, before we vote on the motion, I just want to give any other member an opportunity to speak. Anyone else?
Myself?
Please.
So it would appear that it would
Push the red button.
And no, mine's not working very well either.
Okay, there it
you
goes.
go.
Okay. So looking at the rotation, I absolutely agree. Galt it would appear to have been Galt's turn. In the last 10 years, Galt's not served as the chair. I absolutely agree that Sacramento is in the position of doing that and agree with the motion.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so my understanding is that Galt would then move to the 2019 year, is that correct?
Well,
I don't think there's a,
we don't actually, this has a couple of errors that I didn't catch because I was doing this over the phone with Linda.
So can that
We'll
come back?
update this
Yes.
and
that can
put it
come
in your
back.
packets for the next month. We don't rotate by jurisdiction specifically, but rather the 5 county cities, Elk Grove, Citrus Heights, Galt, Isleton. because
Right, I just want to make sure that we have the opportunity for our smaller cities
Right,
to
absolutely.
have the opportunity to be in the rotation based on the decision that we've made today.
I'm going to move to.
And you'll be totally oriented by that.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor from Member Chenier, been seconded as well. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose, abstain? Man, unanimous. You'll do a great job. You know, we're going to be right there by your side. Great job. Okay, let's move to item number 18.
18.0, appointment of Budget Audit Committee for fiscal year 2017-18.
Okay, so in the past, can you, let's go over the members that have served on the Budget and Audit Committee for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be, 2 years.
I'd be happy to serve, continue. Thank you. I'd be happy to continue serving on that committee unless there's others that we would want to step up.
Motion for Member Suen to continue serving? I'll make that motion.
Chair Jennings?
Yes.
Members of committees are by appointment from the chair. You have the
Okay,
sole
I'm sorry.
power to appoint members of the committee.
Good, that's good. All right.
You got power.
We need 3 members, correct?
So I've been there, Rick. I've been calling in, but I've been there.
All right, so you'd like to continue serving as?
You and I are the only two who've responded to the Secretary's request for a poll.
Exactly. So is that, you're saying you would like to continue to serve? All right.
and Rick, I've served on it for 5 years. I don't have a problem going one more year. So it's up to Don, obviously, because he has to appoint
We
him.
couldn't do this without Jeff.
Okay, so 3 of the 4 members will continue to serve. I am the 4th member. I will give up my seat if the vice chair would like to come in and get a head start on that work.
Technically, it's.
I've actually served on the committee before, and so if I'm going to be vice chair and eventually chair, then I'd like to serve on the committee. I think it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Technically, it's Don's decision, but, you know.
Do we need more than 4, Rivka?
Well,
No, 4 is great, but
I
we'll
can-
take 5.
I can step down if you.
Don?
And if there's an alternative,
Yeah.
alternate?
5 members that I served on the committee.
Yeah.
More is better than less.
More is better than less.
So Member Garrett has raised his hand as a person who would like to serve and be an alternate possible? Okay?
I've served on it for 2 years. Member Garrett, if you'd like to serve, I'm okay.
There's room for, it's a big tent.
Big room. Big room.
Very exciting experience. Never.
There's,
Since there's a 15-member board, you could have up to 7 members on the committee.
Oh.
I have Member Suen, Member Budge, Member Slowey, Member Chenier, and Member Guerra so far. And if anyone else wants to serve, if not, then I'll serve as the alternate. Don? You'll continue? I mean, you'll, as chair. All right. And then I'll serve as alternate. That gives us 7.
I don't think they need an alternate.
Just, you got 7, I'll be the 7th, in case someone doesn't show up. That way you always have 6. Okay? All right.
What's a quorum? What do you need to?
The quorum is 8. There's 15 members on the commission.
I'm sorry.
On the
Of
budget.
the 7.
For the subcommittee, what do you need to meet? You don't need, one person could show up and you can meet, right? I'm happy if Mr. Jennings wants to be an alternate. I'm just wondering what the need for an alternate is. If
Yeah,
there is one.
so there's no formal bylaws
Right.
for this committee, so an alternate is optional and depends on really whatever the informal practice of the committee has been.
But the committee can meet. I remember doing this multiple times because it was Jimmy and myself. I forget who else, but there were times where we only had one person and we met, so.
Yeah, real quickly, certainly I'm familiar with it, but again, I would just look to our other two new members, Ms. Frost and Ms. Hewer. Would you be interested in serving on that committee? Again, it's way, I think, to be integrated, certainly with some more of the, because again, as chair, I'd be working with directly with the director, and I think to Jay's point as well. So I have no qualms. I think that's, again, you really encourage engagement. And if you'd like to, again, it's another obligation. So you think about it if you want. We can add more, but I just ask to both of you if you're interested. So, sorry.
I can.
Okay.
I mean, if there's not,
Yeah.
Because
I can step off of that. I think Rick's been gracious, so has Jay, and so, I mean, we have, connectivity, because we're going to be working with Rivka, so the committee is, again, a subcommittee of the entire board, and we can have up to 7, so.
And I would be the first to tell you, it does not require a drive-in. You'll be sent the material, and I have phoned in this year, simply for lack of the time that it takes to get down here for a half-an-hour meeting.
yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Like to.
Member Frost?
I'm comfortable with the existing committee. I don't have to serve on that committee this year. I'm okay not serving on it at this time.
Okay. Member Hero, you put your name on the list?
If you need space, I don't mind stepping off, but if not, I don't mind.
We're good. Thank you, sir.
Good.
We're good.
Good job, Rick.
Okay. All right, so we have 7 members on that committee as of right now. Do I need to call them out just to be sure that everyone understands who they are? Member Sewin, Member Budge, Member Slowey, Member Chenier, Member Guerra, Member Natoli, and Member Hira. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next item, please. Any reports, ideas, questions from the board members? Seeing none, hearing none. Any other yes, Member Budge.
Only that I know we talked about the Korean library last month, but I have brought copies of the Grapevine for everybody to see that Rivka made the front page of the Grapevine. So.
Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, seeing none. This meeting is adjourned.